Let me get my charger. How's everything? Oh my goodness. I'm just getting up good. It's still so dark in my room, Curvies. You know, and I was thinking, I'd be getting up thinking, Curvies. Curvies. I'd be getting up thinking Curvies. And so, first off, how are you this morning? Is everyone well rested? I'm going to grab my robe and go get my coffee. And you guys can come with me. I have this big conference on Saturday. Is this even on? Where's my freaking glasses? Curvies. Curvies. Let's see. If this world were mine. Yeah, you know, I wanted to talk to us this morning because I was thinking, you know, I watched that episode of Married to Medicine on Sunday, and I was very disturbed at what I saw on that episode, and it was very triggering to have my favorite show on Bravo show us domestic violence, and that was kind of like a DV situation to me. That looked like, I'm talking about Sweet Tea and Greg. And I don't know, it was just hard to watch. And then it was so very hard to listen to Gregory justify all his actions and blame Sweet Tea. It was very, very troubling. It was very, very troubling. And also, I feel like some things have been slipping through the cracks with the things that got that went viral because of what Dr. Heavenly said, which is a mute point compared to the domestic violence situation that we witnessed on our televisions. Like, whatever she says as far as her opinion, it's really interesting to me that the news cycle is leaving out Dr. G's actions and Sweet Tea's Stockholm syndrome. And I thought for sure when I got up on Monday after watching that episode that everybody would have been talking about, you know, violence against women. Everybody would have talked about domestic violence and, you know, and would have been championing and rallying behind keeping domestic violence off of a global stage for entertainment. You know, I'm a boopy. I love Dr. Heavenly, and I even allow space for what she said because it's her opinion. But her opinion didn't poke anybody. Her opinion didn't physically harm anybody. However, what I saw Dr. G do, that physically harms people because people will look at that and for one think, oh, it's acceptable for me to act like that with my partner. Because look at these people on TV, they do it. And then he just sits and explains it away. And then all these men rally behind him and want him to still be included in a group that they have refused to not include him in for the past 6 years. Well, 5 years, 6 seasons, 5 seasons. Because ever since season 6, it got found out about, let me go grab my charger. Ever since season 6, it got found out about the abuse that Quad had. And even in that those clips are viral right now on TikTok. If you go to TikTok and look up Married to Medicine season 6, they're practically playing the whole thing in clips. And in any given clip, you can either see the men of the group or the women of the group be mean to Quad for not continuing to endure the abuse that she was having with Dr. G. Through Toya attempting to punish Quad for choosing to remove herself from an abusive marriage to the point of being single in season 6, and Toya wanting to not include her on trips because she wasn't married to her abuser anymore, to Mariah questioning Quad and berating Quad because she knew her longest in the group. Like, that gives her license to berate Quad further about her abusive situation with Dr. G. And the only people that stood up for Quad then and now are the Kimes. Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon in season 6 were the only ones being like, Quad, you don't owe anybody anything. You guys need to leave Quad alone. They were the only ones. And even now, we have again Heavenly and Dr. Damon being real ones with her and being like on her side. You know, in these shows, we always see people get divorced and stuff, and then there's this thing about who gets the friends, right? And it looks like Dr. G gets the friends. And that's not, and I can't, it's disgusting. It's disgusting that he would get the friends and that these professional males with wives, mothers, aunties, daughters in some cases would coddle this man who's an abuser. I looked it fucking up. Google abuse. Google the word of fucking abuse. Google it. This is not, I might have to still say alleged, but I will say based off of the Google definition of abuse. I'm going to Google it again and read it in abuse on my Google Chrome. Let's see. Abuse, the act of improper usage of treatment of a person or thing, often unfairly and improperly to gain benefit. It can come in many forms, such as physical, verbal, injury, assault, violation, or unjust practices, crimes, and other types of aggression. Abuse is when someone causes us harm or distress. Okay? Signs of emotional abuse. They are hypercritical or judgmental towards you. They ignore boundaries and invade your privacy. They are possessive and controlling. They are manipulative. They dismiss your feelings. Didn't we see Dr. G do all of that to Sweet Tea when she was sitting there trying to explain why she wanted to protect him and her? Which I truly feel, I'm like, that's another tale. I'm like, red flag. Part of why I picked my husband is because he could fight, he could protect us. You know, he was a strong man. And I wanted him to protect us. I have never felt like I needed to run and jump a man for him or for me, and would not have put myself in that situation. And it's interesting that T would be treated like this and then go and run and try to fight the man who basically was standing up for her in Quad's honor, because by proxy, it was a man standing up for don't cuss at women. And she had spent the previous night getting cussed out. And the amount of escalation, that's another thing that happens in abuse, you guys. I'm going to grab my charger real quick. Just a second. Just a second, Curvies. Here I come, Curvies. I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, and another thing about abusers is shit escalates. That means it starts off one way, like just like maybe just with him yelling at you when he gets home. And then it goes from yelling to like screaming in your ear really freaking close. Like he'll yell from across the room and then it'll go to yelling in your ear really close. That's escalation. That's a form of abuse to have somebody scream in your ear that hard until your ear rings. And he was yelling at Sweet Tea, be good! You be good! Remember? That was high-key abusive, you guys. And then she sat up there and laughed. She was trying to save face. Poor thing. She needed, instead of save face, she needed to check him in his face in front of everybody else while she had backup. You know? At least that's what I would have did. If I was scared to deal with him myself, I would just freaking wait to be around other people and get help. Blink twice, bitch. It's so sad. And then people are jocking for her, simping for her, simping of her abuser. And oh, and everything is Dr. Heavenly's fault. Everything is Jackie's fault. Everything is Quad's fault. And then, oh, can we please stop after seeing the shit that Sweet Tea just endured at Quad's old kitchen table? Can we please stop with the lie that Quad wants something that Sweet Tea has? Quad left that life, honey. Just like she said, she gave him to the streets where you found him. There is no place in even the most creative mind where you should think that the Quad is somehow jealous of Sweet Tea. So you're saying Quad wants to get poked with boards, yelled at, screamed at, controlled, blamed, and then have it all justified and excused. And then he reiterated the story at the kitchen table like he was in the Trump administration and this shit was Black history. It all needed whitewashing because what he said happened did not happen. That is not what happened. That is not the accurate depiction of Black history, sir. True Black history, G, was you antagonized a man, got up in his face several times into man's space, provoked, agitated. I believe you were using some type of mind fuckery that you learned from being a shrink. He learned it from being a shrink. And he was using mind fuckery, provoking, agitating. He wanted King to lunge at him. He wanted to get that man out of his center. But King didn't even do it. King was very calm. King was just like provoked to show that, oh, I'm going to make you run, nigga. Like, I know a bitch nigga when I see one. He's like, he jumped at him and G ran backwards. Like he was, what's that one in Cars that can go in reverse? Maynard. He was running backwards so good. He was very agile to be going backwards with his old age and bad knees self. I know how your woman is. I know how your girl is. See, I knew you people were like this. Look how these people are. I knew those people were like that. You're just mad I know how your girl is. And then going to try to press charges. And then he's sitting at the table talking about it would have been a fight to the death. Did you guys hear him when he said that bullshit? With a straight face. Can you imagine the amount of fucking gaslighting old Sweet Tea is going through? Can you? I'm just like, she was looking at him like she has to listen to that shit all the time. He was like, oh, it was going to be a fight to the death. Really? With you in reverse? Really? With you backing up and politely getting walked away? allowing them to make as much space as possible between you and the ass whooping you were due, really, G? And really he was attacking you. You felt threatened while you were backing up so quick. Really, G? And then Sweet Tea had her whole titty out. What is she? She does everything Dr. Heavenly does. Did you notice that? Dr. Heavenly's titties came out at the Dude Ranch, and now here her titties come out at the freaking sandbar while she running to try to chase and beat up our beloved 6-pack, 12-pack Adonis Belt 15 times wood king. And she was going to go try to hurt him. Even Quad was like, go to your husband. Go to... Cecil was like, Sweet Tea, what are you doing over here? It's all too much. And now for both of them to be spinning this story, them and their other minion, Phaedra, to be spinning this story about they're bullied, they're this, they're that. It's mind fucking going on. And I'm not with getting my mind fucked. Not like that. I'm sapiosexual sometimes. Isn't that what you call it when you like sapiosexual? Is that when you like the people's minds? I believe so. Make sure this... Oh yeah, the charge is happening. Good. So I was very triggered and very surprised that the news cycle was politely glazing over the sapiosexual is a person who is characterized by a sexual or romantic attraction to highly intelligent people. Sapiosexual. So, yeah. But I'm not like into getting mind fucked just regular with no Vaseline. But if you're a sapiosexual and your intellectual prowess is such that it entices me, but just don't blow smoke up my ass and gaslight me and tell me that the dinner I prepared for you, you threw it to the floor and slapped my face and told me to clean this shit up because you had a bad day at the job that you said you don't even need more patients at, and that's why you were turning away Dr. Damon's patients. None of it's adding up. It's all lies. And for the news cycle in these YouTube streets to be more concerned with pretending like Phaedra Park's exit was ultra stellar. That was coward. Have you ever seen a coward jump on a jet? Rewind. Have you ever seen a bitch not take accountability after she set a fire? And she was literally coming for my fave, Dr. Heavenly. I see it clear as day. The setup was in on Dr. Heavenly. She was mad that Dr. Heavenly, and this was all allegedly in my mind. We know for a fact that Phaedra spearheaded the group to try to get Quad off the show. Quad confirmed it in her most recent parade interview. Look it up. We played it here before. The only reason we get to even see Quad reveal who G is because Dr. Heavenly was like, I'm filming with Quad. And by proxy, Dr. Jackie was like, I'm filming with Quad too. And we've gotten some really great scenes. People pretend like what Phaedra did is somehow, oh my God, she ate. What does she eat? What does she give? She ate crow because she tried to set somebody up and that shit didn't work. And then she left literally crying. She is so lucky. They cut out Shireen cussing Phaedra out so bad that she left crying. And she wears a lot of makeup. I suppose it might have been streaked like Tammy Faye Baker. She wears a lot of makeup. And that bitch left crying. Okay? I would have loved to see that. That's why she got on the jet the next day. Talking about, I don't deal with these mean girls, bitches like this. She still tried to the very end to make it all their fault for what she failed at doing, which was she was trying to set Heavenly up for filming with Quad, And that's why she's mad at Heavenly. And Heavenly was like, I don't know why she's mad at me. We were fine. And then all of a sudden, I was on her list. Yeah, because you went against her. You're smarter than her. You got your shit together way further than her. And you can finish a whole sentence without a smirk or a fabulous wig. And we still want to hear what you have to say, Dr. Heavenly. Phaedra can't perform without all her accoutrements. And then she still is lackluster. But you guys go for all the fake smoke and facades you want. Oh, she ate. That's how you leave a show. Get on a private jet. No, she left crying, bitches. She left crying. Because like Apollo said, everybody's above her. They're all on her level and above. And she can't stand it because she doesn't have nobody to put into place. But that's why the alliance was fine with Contessa and Sweet and Sour, because she felt over them. If you think about it, Phaedra doesn't have nothing over the ladies of Merit to Medicine. They've even been on TV longer than Phaedra Parks. They've even been on TV for longer than Phaedra Parks. Consecutive years, 10 consecutive seasons for some, 11 consecutive seasons for some. They're all above Phaedra Parks. Now, the show might not get as much ratings as it deserves for whatever reason, but it's still the best show on Bravo consistently with no hiatuses. These ladies have been delivering. Phaedra Parks brought her cooler ass over here and added nothing, nothing added, nothing gained, and then tried to systematically from within, like a spook by the door, tear down the other Black excellence ladies from within. And then pretend like it's them doing what she's doing. She was the mean girl trying to get Quad fired from the job she had for a decade. She was the mean girl spinning these narratives on Jackie a year later, that after she drops the ball at the Met Gala, 83 unanswered text messages. She was the mean girl calling Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Devilly all season long because she helped her friend and showed up and got the job done. Really, bitch? I'm not with this crabs in a bucket shit, Phaedra. You take your crabby, crawly, crab, craw, craws away from the best show on Bravo, bitch. Be gone. This all crabs in a bucket mentality over here. I'm not with it. These ladies have been, even in their worst arguments, supportive of each other and helping each other find resolution. All Phaedra did was come to seek and destroy like a real devil. And I told you guys about that psychic that we found at the beginning of the season, who's said that when he read Phaedra, she was like wishing harm on Heavenly. And that's what I got from that last season. She was wishing harm on Heavenly. She wanted Heavenly to get left holding the bag on the appearance that you would invite my ex-husband, unbeknownst to me, and his wife, unbeknownst to me, to a couple's trip so that they could ambush me. Oh my God, Heavenly's the devil. But that's not what happened. I see so many things. Why would Heavenly do that? Why would Heavenly do that? And even Sweet and Sour, I just needed to know why Heavenly would invite them. And Phaedra sitting in earshot, not saying, oh, I knew too. Oh, I wanted it to be a surprise. I just didn't think he would bring Shireen. He must have caught wind that I brought community being check. No honesty, no accountability, just all poor me when the villain is the victim. Oh, poor me. Everybody else is bad. Everybody bad, mean, bad. Oh, poor me. Wow, wow, me baby. Me innocent victim child. Bad, bad. Oh, bad, bad, bad. But nope, instead of the news cycle being how to get a cowardly lion-ass hoe from amongst the excellence, I get, oh, Phaedra ate. Phaedra's the real one. What's Married to Medicine gonna do now? Nah, 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 nah. You guys need to pay attention better. They were great without Phaedra. I feel like Phaedra actually was an anchor, as in dragged it down, not in a good way. And they were holding her feet to the fire. They wanted her to perform. She wouldn't even tell these bitches what made her tick, and then is going to jump on community peen Sheck while he's saying, open your legs, so he could make it look like they're in that cradle position. You go from not talking to nobody to booed up. with somebody you just met. None of it was authentic. It was just, oh, so bad. So bad. Let's see what else I can get. Let's see. Let's see some of these comments. Oh, a lot of them. Thanks for coming out to play this morning, you guys. Zelene Turner's in the house. Yep, it was fucked. You would give you anything. Hey, tell it as it is. Yeah, hard to watch, right? Sad thing is she's still there. Yeah, very sad how he talked to that woman. The sad thing is she's still there defending him. Yeah, like Stockholm syndrome, man. It's really disturbing. And I don't think that any woman, any daughter should see as an example on the best show on Bravo to somehow condone domestic violence and absorb it. Like how even Contessa's like, oh, that's normal. Oh, that's normal. Where the fuck is that normal at year 2? Think about it. They're still in their honeymoon phase, you guys. This is Sweet Tea's honeymoon phase by choice. They chose to come back. They chose to come to the show. They wanted a free wedding, and now they get in there, and not all money is good money, because you got a free wedding, and now it's coming at the cost of your marriage. She got a free wedding on a show, and I don't know what she thought it was going to be like, but my honeymoon phase was not this. And I had known my dude for a decade before we got married, and my honeymoon phase was still not like this. We was honeymooning for sure. Why are they're sitting in stress and then saying, oh my God, this place is stressing me out. These ladies are too much. Some things need to change. Yeah, you need to remove yourself and get the fuck off our screen and go to counseling and have your mom and dad check G instead of try to check Dr. Heavenly. How about that? Did your mom and dad check your husband the way they walked up on Heavenly at the reunion? Or is she walking up on Dr. G now? Because that's who needs the walking up on. And that scene where he like lied and pretended like, oh, it was going to be a fight to the death. Oh, yeah, you're a woman. You're just a woman. What were you going to do? And then, well, this decision and this, well, let's just end it then. And then he storms off and then he goes upstairs. She followed for more abuse. That's not a thing to show people. She ran behind him to get further emotionally abused and then gets in the room and says she's doing it for the team. And then you hear her explaining and pleading with him to please stop treating her like that because she knows they're still mic'd. She knows it's a Lisa Barlow hot mic moment happening. She's like, be quiet, stop it. He's like, you're making me do this. If you don't want to see this side of me, you're doing it. Classic. Any abuser movie you've ever seen. He's classic. This is all allegedly for entertainment purposes and my opinion. And we are using definitions off of Google for me to use these words. So whoever has a problem with it might want to have a fucking problem with Google, because I did get flagged on comments on TikTok under a scene for that kitchen table scene. And I was saying the same thing that I'm saying here. I was like, abuse has no place on a platform like this. This is obvious classic textbook abuse based on the Google definition. And damn, Digital Plantation TikTok was like, this is a community violation. Yeah, and I didn't say anything that wasn't true, that my eyeballs didn't witness in that scene. Hey, baby. And I was like, I love you so much.
You too.
Did you sleep excellently?
Mm-hmm.
Can I have some sugar? Mwah. Yep, there it is. And it's flagged me for a freaking community violation for saying what it is. I'm so done with this bullshit. It's crazy. But okay, back to the show. So in addition to everybody just glossing over the fact that Phaedra's a full-on fucking liar and she didn't leave in style at all, she scurried away like a fucking rat. And yeah, and having jets on standbys is what cowards do When that's what rich cowards do when they don't want to take the heat and stand in accountability for their actions. That's what happens. So she scurried away like a rat in a jet. Okay. And then nobody said anything about the scene with Sweet and Sour, really. It was just like more talk about Heavenly inviting Shireen instead of about what we saw Sweet Tea endure. And then there was a lot of videos even on yeah, like Dr. Heavenly being evil for inviting people that Phaedra was aware were coming. It was just too much. It was all a setup and it backfired in her face. But for us to completely gloss over as a community of reality viewers the triggering scenes that we've been witnessing ever since Dr. G has come back to Married to Medicine, it needs to be addressed. Last season, he was doing some controlling ass shit. And this season, it's escalated, you guys. Last season, it just appeared that he was controlling her. He didn't want her to talk to certain people. He wanted her to act a certain way. Remember, that's all. I read you guys the definition. That type of controlling isolation, where I only want you talking to people that I know what their story is going to be to you, that's straight isolation in an abusive relationship. So year one, it goes from verbal, mostly verbal, what we saw. And now this year, we had physical, emotional, and verbal abuse all escalate within a year. That's a lot because nobody starts off just slapping the shit, taste out your mouth. It escalates. And we need to talk about it. We cannot allow, and even the men on the show, Curtis, Eugene, I do not want to see Dr. G on the screen. He does not deserve this platform, especially when the platform is chock full of women viewers, strong women viewers, who none of us would allow people to treat us like this. This is triggering. They need to get him off our screen because we should not be tolerating this as viewers. Did you guys see the preview where Dr. Heavenly is saying that it's time for Dr. G and Sweet Tea to take a break from the group? I agree. I agree. They're ruining the platform. It's disgusting. Quad is a champion for enduring this, but she had to endure it so the truth could get revealed about Dr. G. So everything is working out roses, actually. Had this whole X's not been introduced, then we would have not got to see exactly what Quad said her experience was through season 6 dealing with Dr. G. We never really got to see it. Nobody wanted to believe it. Believe women when they say that shit. Everybody was making excuses for it even then. And that's when Quad said, oh, I'm going to be on the trips, with or without a man. Believe that. And Toya was trying to punish her for not being with an abuser anymore. We need to protect each other. We're all we got, you guys. We're all we got. But the Lucifers, whatever their name is, need to be off the freaking screen. And he needs court-ordered. He needs court-ordered some type of anger management, stop mind-fucking course, or something. He's a dangerous man. He's trained. Think about how dangerous he is. His literal profession is to help people manage the same behaviors that we saw him display. And he did nothing to manage them and then only excused and justified them away. And then rewrote history and lied. Zero accountability for his actions. He does not need this platform. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. She needs to run. Oh, because I'm sitting in my room in the dark. I'm just sitting here in my room. I just got up and I haven't even got my coffee yet. Thanks for coming, though, and thanks for asking, Jonathan. CJ Hardy's in the house. Good morning. I'm not going to watch that. It's too much, right? T needs to run. She's in danger. He's an abuser. You're right. I will say this. If they are true friends, they will try to help G seek help for himself. That's what I'm saying. Don't just have him over smoking cigars with listening to his I'm Still in Love with Quad soundtracks. Did you guys see that also in the preview? He got home and had to write a song to Quad. Did you guys see? And he's so sick of the bullshit. He just wants to be free. All I got was, I love Quad. I still love Quad. I still love Quad. I'm miserable without Quad. And then he played it for Sweet Tea, you guys. And Sweet Tea was like, oh, that was great. Had to listen. Have you... he literally got home from the trip and wrote a love song to Quad and played it for Sweet Tea. Has her on tape saying it's great, then takes it to other people so everybody can hear the song he wrote for Quad. Run, girl. It's clear he is mentally and verbally abusive. Thank you, CJ. Make it make sense is in the house, although it's not Heavenly's job. She does make Heavenly and Quad's work when, yep, they are phoning in. Yep, Quad wasn't interesting after Mariah left and she didn't want to be there. Phaedra is a waste of... I agree with Sweet Tea trying to fight for her little husband, right? She got to protect her access to the money. Okay, well, so one time, me and Hubs, we were walking down the street, and some campus police decided they wanted to tussle with us. And so, yeah, I did jump on the police that one time when they were trying to carry my man off to the car for no reason. I did. But look, I'm so crazy. I tussled with the police. Yes. And lived to tell the tale. But just like random niggas, my husband got it. My husband got it. He got it. You know, he does not need me jumping on people's back. But with the cops, it was like a number of them. And they were campus police. So, yeah, Berkeley campus police. We took it all the way to Supreme Court, and they basically told us we're lucky we didn't get shot. Yeah, that happened in real life, you guys. Tell It As It Is said, could she have fought him, though? She's delusional, thinking she could do that, right? You guys saw the fucking wood that man has. And I mean wood as in he's obviously chiseled everywhere. Ooh, I love beautiful men. Yes, I do. My husband's a beautiful man. Beautiful man. You didn't see Along the Fighting a Woman back though. Yeah, King wouldn't have fought her. King would have ran back up the way G was running back up. He would have did that away from Sweet Tea if he really thought that she was going to try to fight him. And then for her to get on her live talking about me and him had a whole talk. And I told him, let's squash it. Who the fuck are you to tell anybody anything, bitch? She has a lot of liberties going around to people's men, having conversations with people's men. She started the season off in Dr. Damon's face. Get the message. Nobody wants you talking to their man. She started the season off in Dr. Damon's face and was told, don't talk to my man. She ends the season in King's face because she likes engaging with men. And then that lady did come on the live for Quad and say that she does like her men because she used to give it up good and low, drop it wide and spread it low and hot when she was in high school. People thought she was a mattress in high school. So maybe she has an affinity for men. I don't know why she always is just putting herself like that around them. And then as soon as Shek got there, she jumps up and runs over and hugs Shek. That's another thing that tells me that they might know each other more, because why are you jumping up, running over, hugging him? Your husband didn't even know who the fuck that was, but you did because you and Phaedra set the whole thing up. Oh, I got one of these things, you guys. Where is it? I'm going to show it to you. I hope it's still charged. It's so cool. My mom got it for me. And I just realized yesterday that the thing that it plugs into makes it charged. So this is water. This is some kind of water hydrogenator. And so I just poured a bottle of, Calistoga in there. Is that what it is? Yeah. Poured some purified water in there. And then you put it on this thing, and it hydrogenates, ionizes, and alkalizes it. And I swear, I can feel it in my body. I swear it gives me energy. And this is not a paid advertisement. I just love great water. And so it does something. And it tastes so good and refreshing when it's done. I love it. Let's see. I didn't see Mims. I was for them, but now not at all. Yes, no money is worth that. And he doesn't even have that much money. He's looking for more jobs. And I wouldn't want him working if that's always his excuse for coming home and throwing my spaghetti on the floor. You don't need to be working, sir. You need to be out on mental disability. Yes. You spend time in Iraq with women in the military. They can fight. Plus, she's country. Right? I worked with women and she beat up her husband and his brother. Oh, wow. They were using fists. Wow. She really is country. She thinks she can change that man, but she's not. No. And she should get a clue because she's the only one changing. If she is combat trained, then why is she allowing herself to be abused by this man? If she's combat trained, why is she allowing herself to get abused by this man? He uses her for free labor at the office the same way he did Quad. And she still has to work her government job, you guys. And she has to be their security. What is he good for? What is he good for? Twice a week? It looks pokey too. It doesn't even look, he probably doesn't even have the girth he used to have. Am I in the twilight zone? Quad used Dr. G for money and status, and Dr. brought Quad's affection. She never wanted him and never would gave him a baby. I think he was abusive, but I think she fought too. Yeah, you could be in the twilight zone. I don't know. When she finally divorced him, I don't know. I kind of feel like she really loved him by the end of it. Maybe she had grown to love what she could of him. Maybe she did love him at one point. She loved the idea of what they could be. I think that might be what it was. She was in love with the idea of being like a power couple, and stuff. But Quad is not a shabby hoe. Quad definitely has her whole own. She was in pharmaceuticals. People say she was homeless. Well, she not now. The resort she's living at is a testament to you can have a whole different life if you just work hard. There's not going to be anything. I'm not ever going to be okay with they hit each other is the reason that the woman should have got hit. I'm not ever going to be okay with they did stuff to each other is the reason she got dragged around the floor, is the reason she got locked in the room, is the reason. Fuck that. You're a man. Take your fucking hairy balls away from me with your abusive ass and go find somewhere to be. I don't care what the fuck I'm doing. I give a fuck what I'm doing. They both what? Fuck that. A real man, if I'm stalking you, you're going to just take that shit and walk away because your mom raised you right. If you're a bitch-made man, and only bitch-made, Mitch-made men are going to get mad at this statement, If you're a bitch made, then you have no problem putting your hand on women and then justifying it if you're bitch made. There, I didn't bring any sexuality into it for the people who want to be like, oh, Dr. Heavenly said use the wrong word, but I'm still mad. I had to look in freaking Chat GPT to see why it would have been a problem. And it's like, oh, well, the problem is that sexuality and masculinity are two separate things. Exactly. Yeah. And for emphasis, you might say that that was a bitch move. That was a Mitch move. That was sassy. You might say that to describe a Negroid or caucus who would poke a woman on national TV, cuss another woman out, and then run and blame the women. You're not ever going to get me to agree with that or co-sign on some bullshit. The only reason men need to raise their arms around me is to open fucking doors. What's wrong with your society? Am I in the motherfucking Twilight Zone? So now just because we just gonna let all the shit that Granny taught us go out the window? Real men, and I said it, R-E-A-L for the people in the back, R-E-A-L, traditional masculinity men, not toxic bitch-made men, will not try to condone, endorse, or co-sign on a man putting his hands on a woman or disrespecting her like that. I said it. Try to make it a problem if you want to. I didn't use the coveted word of the alphabets. That was fucked up. And then people are like, oh, because I understood exactly what Dr. Heavenly was saying. She did add that little caveat in there. But then I'm like, oh, hit dogs are hollering all over the YouTube streets. Same people that she let interview her are like, oh, she's a bitch. Oh, she's this. Oh, I know, da 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 da. And then Funky Dineva is all calling her fish and all kind of stuff. So her point was made. Her point was made. Real men don't argue with women. There was a lot of arguing towards Dr. Heavenly by men who were very upset by what she said, even though they said that they knew that she said the wrong word. And I was like, if she said the wrong word, then why are you mad? You're even saying that you know she said the wrong word, but she said the wrong word. And that's why I'm mad. But if you know she said the wrong word, then why are you mad? Because she said the wrong word, and that's why I'm mad. I'm like, are we three? The entire context of the statement she said is that bitch ass men need to leave their hands and disrespect away from women. You got that point though, right? Yeah, but she said, and I could beat up Dr. Damon. I could whip Dr. Damon's ass. But is that the point? She's literally and then she prefaced it even further by saying a wife, a woman. So now she's actually taken out that whole community by bringing it back to a straight community situation by saying protect his wife. That's a traditional relationship, but everybody's still mad. The same people, and she apologized in the thing and she apologized after. They were having hour-long lives on it. Very upset. These kind of bitches. And then for Funky Dineva and a lot of the other ones who admit that a lot of their audience is straight black women and sit up there and call fish and be like, oh, but I'm not talking to you. But she can't say that what she said. She can't say what she said and take it back and say apologies. And then they say, call her fish and all bitches and all kind of stuff. And they don't take nothing back. They don't apologize. And they've been doing it for years. They've been calling Dr. Heavenly a lot of things that aren't Dr. Heavenly for years. And then she says one word out of order and everybody's like, off with her head. She needs to get canceled. Da 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 da. Why is everybody so sensitive? Didn't the president just call a whole group of people something? Where's his cancel ticket? Your guy's president just started the first day and said there's only male and female. He only recognizing two things from now on. Off with the pronouns. But you guys are sitting here writing Dr. Heavenly's dick. And then I noticed also, why is it always only black people that need to police what they said and freaking readjust and apologize? You know how much white people say that they never apologize for? The Ann Coulters, the freaking insert white person here. They say what the fuck they say. They don't apologize for it. They never look back twice, 8 times or nothing. And nobody even makes them. But be a black person and have a thought and have a word, and you'll have to go on an apology tour like Kyrie Irving and Kanye West and go to a class to learn how to talk to the people that were offended. But when we're offended, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck when black women are offended and abused. Nobody gives a fuck that the point of her statement was protect black women. Real men stand up for women. Real men don't sit there and cuss women out and then justify it shit. That was her point. But no. Everybody's panties are in a big ass bunch. I don't know. Dr. G is a classic little man with a non-average high-pitched voice. Yeah, his voice is really giving Mickey Mouse a run for his money. She's too embarrassed to admit that Quad was right. That part, Mims. Gotta admit, he could move fast running back. I'm telling you, just like Maynard. I believe that he was saying much more than we heard. Yup. And that's what made King go after him too. He was talking so much ish to King. And I had my husband watch the scene with me. And everybody knows about personal space. It's 3 feet of personal space. During the vid, we got 6 feet of personal space. And now we're back to what? Spitting distance, Dr. G? He was spittle distance from King's face while he was flailing his arms erratically. I'm surprised King didn't feel threatened. That was unpredictable what was going to happen next with those little teeny arms that Dr. G was flailing at the sides. And he knew to keep them at the side. He was flailing at the sides like he was one of those things in front of the car dealer. He was flailing at the sides. And he knew not to put his hands in front of him like a traffic controller dude, because had he done that, King would have had license to whoop his ass further because he knew that he was in that man's personal space. He knew it. Make it make sense. She never seems to give him a baby because she had turmoil in her marriage. I'm glad she didn't. Her swimsuit was too small. Which one? Sweet Tea's swimsuit? I thought her swimsuit, actually, I like a nice one piece. I thought her swimsuit looked great. But she shouldn't have been calling nobody a big back, bad built bitch. She shouldn't have been. No, her boobs are spilling out, yet she calls Heavenly a big, yeah, that's what look, we're on the same thing, yep. Looks like it was a lot edited out. Yeah, and you know, that's the other thing. They did do a lot of choppy McChoppersons on Married to Medicine. I saw Make It Make Sense is next. They did do a lot of choppy McChopperson over here. They chopped up Quad and Sweet Tea got in a tussle at the Dude Ranch. They chopped up what Dr. Heavenly said at the Dude Ranch. They chopped up all the stuff Quad said Dr. G did to her at the Dude Ranch. They chopped up this fight so we can't see Shireen make Phaedra cry. But they did leave Phaedra's saving face by calling Shireen a big back something. So they set it up to make it look like Phaedra's this power shade queen. And the mic was off, you guys. Dr. Heavenly told us the mic was off. They had to edit that back in later because nobody heard her say that shit. You may be right, but that does not negate abuse she suffered. She did say season 6 reunion, she still loved him despite all he did. So there may have been something there. That's what I was thinking too. Celine says Shireen had no business confronting Phaedra. She probably also upset because Apollo let his wife talk to her like that, and he is the mother of his children. Yeah, her and Apollo might be on a hiatus right now too. Um, I don't know. Look, if Phaedra thinks she can go around talking to people, it's been enough. That's his wife. And think about maybe Shireen heard her say something that caused her to cuss her out. But we'll never know because the entire interaction was edited out. Because to me, when Shireen said, "Oh, honey, Miss Fei, da 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 da," I felt like Shireen was trying to be nice right there, calling her Miss. That was a show of respect by not taking liberties with just calling her Phaedra. Adding the Miss on there was a form of respect, like I said. And she said it with like a nice little play voice. It wasn't like that bitch da 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 da. And then she was like, he don't give a fuck about you after that. But she started off with Miss Fei. Heavenly stated that she did not mind being the villain. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, she has a personality that can stand that, and that's why I don't really mind her villainy. Because for one, she's the villain that's the villain because she tells the fucking truth. That's her villain superpower, is telling the truth. Be that kind of villain any day. Don't be a Phaedra villain. Don't be a lying, plotting conniver. Be a truth teller. Phaedra was wishing harm on Dr. Heavenly this season. Any grown adult who wishes for someone to get beat up. That's what I'm saying. Yep. Because they said your mama is devilish. Phaedra knew Dr. Heavenly was going to come for her. Yes. But at first, though, Dr. Heavenly wasn't even coming for her. And like I said, all she was going to do was say the truth about, bitch, you knew that he was coming. You said it was a surprise. Yep. She did wish harm on her. And that's the other thing. Like, so Dr. Heavenly deserves to get beat up for saying your mama during a fight, but nobody else deserves anything. That's just weird. She was totally wishing harm on Dr. Heavenly. And that's what the psychic said. People clearly are not watching because Phaedra knew Apollo wanted camera time and Heavenly and Phaedra were doing that for him. But Apollo found out the boy was coming and he brought his wife. Exactly, CJ. Mo Black, thanks for coming through. Why did Heavenly bring an abuser around her friend? That's a good question. She said she didn't know how bad it was, even though she was there for season 6. But they got to see how he treats Sweetie, which let them know that's how Quad was being treated, even though that's what Quad said she was being treated like. Maybe they needed some show and the tell. I don't know. Ike Turner classic. I didn't think that Quad was not coming back to the show. The ladies were upset with Quad. Yeah. He might end up like the movie Burning Bed. Hello, Farrah Fawcett. Yeah, we've been talking about that movie a lot, Celine Turner. That's what abusers get. Abusers get a fucking burner bed. How about that? We won't have to see if you're Mitch made or bitch made after that. You'll be burnt, fool. I got in trouble with IG2, see? Yeah. She got in the jet to go film for RHOA. She did. I believe it too. It was already on her new contract. Yeah. But that's the other thing. Like, I'm just trying to figure out too. So Bravo's just letting people out of contracts now, huh? I don't know. Just based off the Bravo that we know and the way that they roll, when you miss reunions, you're usually on some type of list as far as, other opportunities. And why is Phaedra, who left the show a liar, lied on production, lied on Candy turned it into a coin. She gets benched for 5 years. but she was always still welcome at like BravoCon and stuff, even over Nene. It's just baffling to me. I'm like, who, she must have dirt on somebody, because it just doesn't make sense that a person who would damage the brand so harshly with lies and talk of gang grapes and drugs would be like, they would just roll out the red carpet for this bitch 5 years later and let her get out of contracts on the best show on Bravo after she blew up the set. It's just weird. Kelsey, hey, Grand Rising. He got possessed by the spirit of James Brown. Dr. G needs an exorcism. Greg is weird. And the people that are taking up for him are too. Sweet Tea is just a fan. She is a freaky ass fan who married Dr. G. Where do you get your cup from? So my mom actually got this on Amazon. And I'll show you guys one more time. And you just put the water in, and then those are hydrating bubbles. And it's portable, so like you charge it overnight, and then you can take it with you to your job or wherever. And it's pretty secure, like, see, so this is upside down, and it doesn't leak or anything. Yeah, on Amazon though, it's like a hydro something, or ionizer or something, I don't know. Air Force don't do combat training. She lying. She always lying. Sweet Tea said she never been in a fight, right? I've been in the Army. Training is equal to self-defense course. Bonita Howard, thanks for coming in. Oh, and Angela, thanks for being here. Burnell Gaskins, right on. Good morning. Grand Rising, happy Wednesday. Hello, chat. Air Force does combat training in boot camp. You had to Google it because you were curious. Mamer's in the house. Nikki B. Dr. G, in my opinion, does not respect Sweet Tea. Nope. And that was one thing that Dr. Heavenly said. She was like, he doesn't respect her. How are we supposed to respect her? But, you know, you give respect where respect is due. And I feel like had Sweet Tea stopped with the anger and the displaced anger at that, and went with a little gratitude, the ladies would have rallied behind her. Her and Quad could have had a relationship, and they could have helped her pack up the other shit in Dr. G's house. When they left her, when she left. Dr. G, in my opinion, does not. Nope. I didn't realize that Quad was so petite. Yeah, she's a little thing, huh? She's little. Yeah, and he was dragging her around the floor. He was bigger then, too, you guys. When Quad was with G, he was bigger. He seems to have slimmed down some. And you see how little Quad is? And he was dragging her around the floor. Could T come back to the show without G? No. She hasn't been on long enough for us to like welcome her like that, I don't think. And she pushed Simone. Oh my God. She pushed Simone and cussed out Dr. Jackie last season, and now is pushing Simone this season, and always wants to fight Dr. Heavenly. It's just too much. You can't come over here trying to fight Dr. Heavenly. And so now Dr. Heavenly is saying they need a timeout. We'll see. He'll never apologize. Nope. 47 don't care about nothing but himself. Yeah, him and President Musk and the grifter in chief, right? If I was Heavenly, I wouldn't do another interview with them. Not Elmo and Mickey Mouse. Yes, I was wondering how Sweet Tea's family. Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, so her mom shows up to reunions trying to fight Dr. Heavenly for words. I hope her mom showed up to her house trying to fight Dr. Damon for abuse. Physical. This message is held for review. View message. Zelene says, T was too small because those breasts were already hanging. I'll go ahead and show that. I'm part of the big titty committee. Yep, they be hanging. They be hanging. One over my shoulder. I wish we could see all of the unedited footage. Me too. Oh my God. Remember back in the day on some of our Bravo shows, they would have the unedited scenes, and they would have the the after the season, they would show us some things that we didn't get to see or that got left out sometimes. I would love to see that. I'm going to say it over and over again. Heavenly may not be liked, but she says the same thing over and doesn't pivot for years. Her castmates don't like her YouTube, but does say she lies about it. That's I've been thinking, that's one thing that they actually said is that Heavenly's not a liar. I thought that's what they said, is that Heavenly's not a liar. And yeah, you rewatched season 6 Sunday night and actually cried. Dr. G and Quad still have feelings for each other 10 years, hard to erase. Yep. Allie from Miami's in the house. Thanks for coming through. Mel NYC reviews. Okay, Mel, I could not do the freaking political stuff again. It's a lot for me. We might do it again this weekend. I don't know if I could do that every week though. It's a lot. That's the circus Phaedra should have been talking about, 4-ring circus. Now, Curves, I love you, but Shireen Nida has been messy and mean since that fake scene from Real Housewives. You're right. You're right. That was really messy, and I liked Phaedra at that time, and I was very mad that Shireen came over there, and I was very confused at why Candy Burris would have gave Shireen time, screen time, except for she was being messy too. But if you listen to what Shireen said and what Apollo Nida himself have said, is that Phaedra left him for dead. Phaedra was not returning calls, bringing the kids to see him, was not giving him zero communication, nothing. And the lady did say right in that scene, she wasn't there, so I stepped in. And she was with him for every hearing throughout the whole freaking jail time. People need people when they go to jail for other people. And I still believe allegedly that Phaedra had something to do or had knowledge of what Apollo was doing, and that Apollo's time that he served was also to protect the mother of his children so she wouldn't have to go to jail too. I do believe that happened. And there's a tell-all book that alludes to just as much that I haven't even read, but I get that feeling from just watching this shit. And I feel like that's part of why Apollo is mad, because he took the fall for her so she wouldn't have to go to jail. And all she does ever since he's been out is like talk bad about him and use him for screen time. Good morning. I'm just swinging through. I love you, Mel. I want a political show do-over. Yeah, my email is LRGA Curves, LRGACURVES @gmail.com. Yes, email me anytime. Because I thought it was proven it was actually Carlos King that started those rumors on Candy. Okay, Trina C., thanks for coming through. Okay, so the Black Hollywood Reporter reported recently, let me see if I could pull it up for you guys real quick. Black Hollywood Reporter reported recently that the real reason Hollywood Reporter Carlos King search. Where'd it go? Carlos King. Let's see. Yeah, so they just reported recently that the real reason Carlos King got in trouble. Black Hollywood Reporter. I'm not finding it. I'll put the source in the thing. Shelved. Here it is. It's a podcast. Let's see. They had a thing on Carlos King where they said that the reason he left Real Housewives of Atlanta was because Phaedra found out that he was trying to do a tell-all book on Apollo and her. And he had already done that to Candy with Escape, allegedly. Yeah. Sweet Tea is not ready for reality. She's not ready for marriage to an abuser either. I wonder how does T's dad feel. Thank you, Trina C. That's what we're saying. Have that old man talk to his daughter that way. Yelled in her ear. I know her ear was ringing when he said, "Be quiet," remember? And all Mimi did was sit there. And that's the other thing. Mimi might have to go. I'm not sure what Mimi's doing. When Mimi ran over to Sweet Tea, she said, "They're trying to break up your marriage. That's all. They're just trying to break you guys up." Remember, what kind of fucking advice is that from a psychiatrist? She didn't just witness what the fuck happened with G going over antagonizing everybody. She watched freaking G yell in that lady's ear, poke her with boards, and then freaking storm off from the freaking night before. Then she was at the sandbar watching G get in freaking King's face. Then she's going to run over to Sweet Tea and say they're trying to break you up. Mimi needs a Ritalin. She needs some lithium. She needs to go calm down and sit down. Yeah, we need her mother now. Don't bring your mom to fight heavenly. Bring your mom to handle your husband. Burnell says, "I watched the video with Sweet Tea and Dr. G. She's defending his behavior and made the comment, Quad wants to be the victim." Yes! Sweet Tea is the victim. She needs to go back and watch the 2 episodes. Exactly. Curves, I feel that the ladies were chasing down Phaedra as if they were on Angela Staten King's payroll. I don't feel like they chased shit. I feel like they let her, they welcomed her. They welcomed her with open arms. Yes, they were fans. They were like in awe that she is the Phaedra Parks. For their show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta had more shine than freaking Married to Medicine, even though it's the best show on Bravo. And they were enamored with the facade and the smoke and mirrors. That's Phaedra Parks. They said it. Yep, that's why they even picked her to be the co-head on the thing for the Met Gala. T's mom had all the energy. Yep, wanting to fight heavenly. Where's the energy for Greg? I bet that T's parents are very disappointed that their child is putting up with abuse, right? I want to see the men hold Dr. G accountable. Me too. Why are they always like, oh, and Dr. G's a part of this group? So you want to be around abusers? Especially G and Curtis? I am not pleased. And even Cecil. Cecil's been making the Moscow mules in the dungeon for a long time and being Quad's friend simultaneously. I don't know how that was working out, but it did. Why would you want him in your circle? Yes. Yes. And that's why Quad was so heavy in the sister circle, was because those hoes was still entertaining Dr. G, talking about, why aren't you around? Bitch, because real friends don't have me around the abuser I just left and try to kick me off a couples trips because I left an abuser. So obviously the sister circle is my real friends. Yeah, we've been thinking. Dr. G singing, oh my God, it looks like he's having a stroke. That is so sad. But people are still trying to pretend like Quad somehow wants him, like King somehow jealous of over there, like something, like he's not full on in love with Quad to and through. Another love song, just another sad love song. Yes, another sad love song. They need to hold him accountable for hurting black women on this thing. They need to do it on my fucking screen. That's where I saw his ass abuse a black woman. I need his ass checked on screen where he abused a black woman. You see what I'm saying? Don't just relegate him. No, have his ass on my screen one last time so he could get checked and then kicked off my screen, because you don't get to just come on this TV, bruh, and freaking abuse black women and get the platform and then get to be like, well, I felt bad. What about my trauma? What about my, you don't give, fuck your trauma, G. You fuck your trauma. You're a whole shrink. Deal with that shit. What about my trauma? What about the reason I used to act like an asshole and abuse the next bitch? What about that? My husband's cracking up. Daddy, tell the people. When Dr. G was doing all that flailing with his arms in King's face, was that license? Was that his way of telling King he wanted to engage in combat?
Uh, I think that was his way of trying to look like he's a badass because you know he got sick people to come save him, right? Everybody standing around.
Yeah.
So when you know you can't fight, but you know there's people that will stop the fight before it starts, then you start getting all bad.
Yeah.
Because he had people around him.
Right.
He wouldn't have done that if it was him by himself.
Right, because he didn't do it when it was by themselves. He didn't start getting hyphy till the other people got around.
Yeah, that was he got hypey to look tough, to show Sweet Tea, I'm a tough dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm a tough dude, but that was all an act because he had saviors.
Yeah. So you hear that from a real man. I got a real man. I got a real man. REAL. Yep, I said it. Take it how you want to. I got a real one. He's not gonna tolerate the tolerateness. Nope. They thought the same hazing did to Mariah, Toya, Quad at times would work with Phaedra. They were sadly mistaken. You know, yeah, because Phaedra's an empty vessel. Phaedra Parks is an empty vessel. Smirks and fabulous wigs is all she's good for. Oh, and chaos and lies and trying to get black women kicked off their job of a decade so that she can take their place only to run away to the next place that she called the Titanic. Yeah, that kind of bitch. I think we got the last laugh because we did not like Phaedra. She was not a great addition. She added nothing. Nothing. Nada. It's like this whole 2 years. I wish she didn't even really impact it greatly or poorly. It's just going to be a blip on the screen of Married to Medicine. Yeah, some of the men laughing at some Eugene better sit down, right? Put a biscuit on his mouth, right? Toil get her husband straight. She was throwing biscuits at him. Now that's a couple that be fighting. I'm convinced that the more she mistreats Eugene, the more he gets moist. I'm serious. He likes that. He likes it. Making his practice look bad. I would wonder what the Yelps are. You know, when people got mad at Dr. Jackie for what they said she said on Dr. Heavenly's channel, they had to go control the Yelps over on the thing because the people were trying to just go over and give bad reviews. And then the people be going over to Dr. Heavenly's thing and give the bad reviews. Remember the millimeters allegedly went over there and tried to do stuff to her office? Yeah. If it comes back, Dr. G, they need to show him taking anger management and addressing DV. I don't want to see his redemption arc. I just want him to be held accountable and then get off my screen. Be held accountable, get checked, and get off my screen. I don't need any redemption. Because if it was really important for him to fix that, he would have done it before he got with Sweet Tea. So don't do it now that you showed your ass exactly what Quad said she went through. If he ever thought he had an issue, which he doesn't think anything's wrong with what he did. They just did a freaking thing on her channel where he sat there further and further as recently as January 30th, 2024, a month ago. No, January 30th, 2025, a month ago. As recently as this year, within this year of our Lord and Savior, 2025, he had no issue with what he did. It was all the reasons. He had got fired. His dick is small. The veins in his forehead popped, just anything. He doesn't get a redemption arc on my screen. Phaedra and Sweet Tea are gone next year. I hope so. Mark my words. Heavenly is going to start hearing that King is gay, a criminal, or a cheater. Heavenly? What's Heavenly going to start hearing that? Child, Heavenly is too predictable. I don't believe that's true. She's never said anything like that about the men. I'm not sure where you're getting that from, Mel. Actually, they said that it got cut out too. That Toya asked Shek at the beach, "Is he gay? What's he really doing here with Phaedra? Because is he gay?" They cut that part out too, right? Because knowing Quad and him, we can see who the real problem was. Gotta run. Thanks for coming out, Mel. Have an excellent day. Email me later and we'll do a political panel maybe this weekend. He does not need to come back, right? G needs to be off our screens for good. Toya is a mess. Yeah, and then that's the other thing. We could talk about it some more, but for Toya, of all people, the messiest bitch in the group, to be like, oh, she's mean. She's messy and mean. That was high key mean how she's always treated Quad. Very mean. Quad gets out of an abusive relationship, and Toya turns and says, I don't think we should have any single people on the trips anymore. Toya has been mean, the ringleader of mean and messy, the day drinker Toya. But I'm glad they didn't highlight all the day drinking that she does, because I didn't get to call her that this year. But she was definitely dubbed the day drinking Toya last year. Tennis elbow. Yeah. But anyway, you guys, I just wanted to come on and talk about it a little to, like, you know, dilute the topics of hate towards Dr. Heavenly, to highlight the topic of domestic violence and protection of women, and to reiterate my stance that I don't believe the best show on Bravo should be a platform where not only is domestic violence put on as entertainment, but then it's allowed to be explained away and have this man take zero accountability. Not on my screen, not today, Satan, not today, neck, not today, ankles. Nope. Get off this, get out of here with that bullshit. Get out of here with that bullshit. This is damaging to little girls all over. They're going to think, oh, when you need to go get access to the money, you're going to need to take whatever that little tiny micropene 2 times a week vein in his forehead says. You're going to have to take it because that's how you get access to the money. You're supposed to just let him talk to you any kind of way. You're supposed to just let him poke you and embarrass you, humiliate you in front of his friends and in the world. That was a full-on humiliation ritual. I wonder if they're going to get a spinoff. Because if this is Illuminati, if Illuminati has anything to do with this, the humiliation ritual that he just put Sweet and Sour through, they're going to get a spinoff. That's usually what happens. A good humiliation ritual, and you get a spinoff or a new album deal. I said it. Not today, forehead vein. That's a bad scene. Yep. Dr. G. Dr. G kept on, she would be Quad's friend. Yep. Zelene, she tried to be Quad's friend, but G wasn't having it, remember? She's not entertaining enough for the show. Yeah, no, it's not entertaining watching you be a freaking Stockholm Syndrome abused victim who thinks you're bad, and she's always trying to fight women instead of the person who's abusing her. Not a good look, darling. I wonder if he's actually already hit her. I wonder if he's actually already hit her at home, because he was real comfortable poking her in front of 8 men and cameras. He was very comfortable. And then how he went to the behind the closed door and he was saying things like, don't make me do this. He was saying all those trigger words, you guys. I think he has too. I think he has. The whole entire setup of that conversation and the way she ran behind him and then only didn't want us to hear him further berate her and talk down to her. So she was still only looking out for his protection, not hers. Bizarre. I really want her family to step in because there's no way they should be okay with this. Exactly. I don't know how much money he giving them for them to shut the fuck up, but it wouldn't be enough for me. Anybody that has a daughter, anybody that is a woman, has a woman in their life specifically. I mean, because I feel like men should be able to hold their own. That's what I'm saying. I feel like men should be able to hold their own. Keep your hands off women. But we should not be impressing this on young minds. Part of the reason Dr. Heavenly loves doing this show is because she knows that she acts how she acts and that other little girls might act like that, but they can look at her and be like, oh, I could still be a doctor. By proxy, a little girl can look at Sweet Tea and be like, oh, I need to be abused by some man with a micro penis, right? Textbook victim behavior, yep. But Heavenly said he was yelling at her before they, got married in her online course, and she still walked him down the aisle. I have 3 daughters, and I tell them, don't let no man or woman love you to death. Ooh, that's a good one, Celine. Love you to death. That's scary. You just gave me goosebumps. Dr. G probably has hit her and has abused her behind closed doors. Yeah, and justified it. And then probably said, oh, you did something too, the way he keeps on saying. Everything he does in his mind is justified. And that would have been a fight to the death. And a king assaulted him for no reason. And he's going to get a restraining order and call the police. He's a Mitch. He's not a real man. That's what Dr. Heavenly was saying. Dr. G probably has, yep, I agree. If he could do that on camera, I dread to think what happens behind closed doors. I'm already getting mad at his milk dud. Don't ruin Milk Duds. I love Milk Duds. That's one of my favorite candies, girl. You can ruin Rolos. You can roll a Rolo to your friend. It's not the same consistency caramel as a Milk Dud. I love Milk Duds. Anyway, you guys, thanks for hanging out this morning. Smash that like button on the way out. Smash the subscribe button. Ring my bell. You don't know when I'm going to go live and come back and talk about stuff, but I will. I love you guys. Remember, there's enough to go around, so go get some, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again. See you later.